This is the weirdest house in America, that's right. This is the Winchester Mystery House. And here's why it's the weirdest house in America. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host. Today we are going to be talking about the Winchester Mystery House. Let's get into it. At first glance, the Winchester Mystery House looks like a typical stately mansion from the late 1800s. It's got beautiful architecture and a rich history. But once you step inside, you will realize there's no typical about this house at all. The Winchester Mystery House was the home of Sarah Winchester, the widow of William Wirt Winchester. Now, if you don't know anything about William Winchester, let me catch you up. William was the heir to the Winchester rifle fortune. The Winchester rifle. For those of you that are not old enough to remember, well, the Winchester rifle was one of the most popular guns of the 19th century. They sold millions of these things, and it's said that every single Winchester rifle killed at least one person, whether it was in war or out on the frontier. That means tens of thousands of people lost their lives because of the Winchester rifle. And the Winchesters didn't really care. They were just trying to make a buck. And when William died, he left everything to his only son, also named William. But young William wasn't exactly the brightest bulb in the batch, so he blew most of the money on drugs and prostitutes and whatnot. And when he passed away, he left his mother, Sarah, with a small fortune. So now Sarah moves out to San Jose, California, and buys an 8-room farmhouse to live in. She planned on retiring out there and living the remainder of her life in peace, but it was not meant to be. See, after buying the farmhouse, Sarah started having strange dreams. In her dreams, she would hear whispers telling her to run away, to hide, and she would always wake up with a start. One night, Sarah was awoken in the middle of the night to what she thought was the voice of her dead son. He told her to run to the hills, to hide, that something terrible was coming. When she told her story to the local minister, he suggested that she seek help from a psychic, so she did. After seeing the psychic, Sarah found out that the house she had bought was sitting on a Native American burial ground, and the spirits of the dead were very angry and wanted revenge. On top of that, the psychic said that the spirits of everyone that had been killed by a Winchester rifle were now hunting Sarah. So Sarah knew that she needed to do something before the spirits caught up to her. So she hired an architect and gave him a very simple set of instructions. Build me a house that can never be finished. And that's exactly what he did. Construction began immediately, and workers were instructed to build as many rooms as possible, hallways, staircases, towers, anything that they could come up with. They were told to make sure that none of the rooms had windows, doors, or any other exits. These rooms were to be windowless tombs where the workers could hide from the spirits. To further confuse the spirits, the workers were instructed to put doors in some of the walls, but the doors were to lead to absolutely nowhere. As the house grew, the workers made staircases that spiraled up into the ceiling, windows, and even trapdoors that led to bottomless pits. Every single morning, Sarah would come out and look at the progress of the house and tell the workers where she wanted them to add more rooms. There were no blueprints for this house, and to this day, no one knows what the original plans were. As time went on, Sarah became more and more paranoid. She didn't want anyone to know about the house or what she was doing there, so she cut off all communication with the outside world. Workers weren't even allowed to talk to each other. They could only communicate with written notes. Anyone who worked on the house had to sign a strict NDA saying they would never reveal secrets about the house, or they would be hunted down and sued. Years went by and the house grew, and grew until it was over 160 rooms, 4 stories tall and covered in vines. From the outside, the house looked normal enough, but once you stepped inside, you would have been utterly lost forever. Sarah continued to live in the house for the rest of her life, and she was never seen outside again. She died in the house in 1922 from complications due to stomach cancer. When she passed away, her will left the house to her estate, and whoever managed her estate was instructed to rent out the house as a tourist attraction. When people first toured the house, they reported hearing chains dragging metal moans and disembodied voices. There were also reports of seeing apparitions of people walking around the house. A lot of people said that they felt extreme dread while in the house, like a heavy weight pressing down on them. There were also reports of physical attacks happening in the house, scratches, bruises, even broken bones. Now obviously these are just stories, and there's no proof that any of it is real. But that doesn't keep people from coming to the house to try and experience it for themselves. One of the most famous stories about the Winchester Mystery House comes from one of the construction workers. According to the story, One of the workers was making a staircase that was supposed to go from the 3rd floor all the way to the 4th floor. But as he was building the stairs, Sarah came over and told him that she wanted him to build the stairs all the way to the ceiling. Confused, the worker asked her if that's what she wanted, but she insisted that he build them all the way to the ceiling, so he did. Once the stairs were complete, Sarah came to inspect and was furious. She screamed at the worker, saying that he didn't do what she told him to do, tried to explain that he did, but she wouldn't listen. Instead, she fired him on the spot. The next day, a new worker came to finish the job. But he found the first worker standing in front of the staircase leading to the ceiling. The worker was scared and insisted that he didn't do it, that he had built the stairs to the 3rd floor, but Sarah wanted them to the ceiling. Then the worker mysteriously disappeared. No one knows what happened to him. Some say that Sarah cursed him and he vanished into thin air. Others say that he climbed the stairs to the ceiling and fell to his death. Still, to this day, those stairs lead to nothing but the ceiling. Another famous part of the house is the room. This is the room where Sarah would hold her to speak to the dead. And it's said that she used the spirits to help guide her in the construction of the house. People say that if you sit in the room long enough, you will eventually hear voices whispering to you, guiding you, maybe even warning you. It's said that the reason Sarah built the house was to confuse the spirits and escape their grasp. But she never really did that, because the house itself is a labyrinth that will confuse anyone who steps inside. People get lost in the house all the time. It's very easy to turn down the wrong hallway and never find your way back out. It's also very easy to get turned around and not know which direction you're facing. People describe it as being like stepping into another dimension where the laws of physics don't apply. Since Sarah cut off all contact with the outside world, no one really knows what happened to all of the materials that were used to build the house. We don't know if she imported special bricks, or if there were any special materials used to build the house. We also don't know where the furniture and personal belongings went that belonged to Sarah. Some believe that the house itself consumed everything that entered it, and that's why there are no records or pictures of any of the stuff. And as for the workers, no one knows what happened to them either. There were dozens of workers working on the house at any given time, and we have no idea how many workers actually died during the construction of the house. Some say they simply disappeared. Others say they went insane. Either way, the house has been called the biggest mass grave in America. The Winchester Mystery House is still open to tourists to this day, and you can take a tour of the house yourself. It's said that if you go into the house with an open mind, you may be able to feel the presence of the workers and the spirits of the dead. Maybe you'll hear a whisper or see a shadow dart out of the corner of your eye. Whatever you do, don't go there alone. So what do you think? Is the Winchester Mystery House haunted? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host. Till next time, stay safe, stay curious.